Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Slurpathon 8. And the opener, we have Zelllooo, who's going to be showcasing a Watch Me Die max run of Doom 64. The incentive for the Glitch Warp ending has been met as well. So this is an absolutely crazy run that I know Zelllooo has been practicing for significantly. So Zelllooo, I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Dot. Yeah, I'm Zelo or
Yeah.
Zello, however you want to say it. For Watch Me Die Max, we're going to be playing on the hardest difficulty, Watch Me Die, which is really, really difficult. It's equivalent to Ultra Violence in the PC Doom game, so we're going to be taking a lot of damage. There's going to be a lot of enemies. And for the Max category is going to be 100% kills and secrets on every level, with the one exception of the very first level, which I'll get into as we go. So we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so like I said, 100% kills and 100% secrets on every level except the first. That's because in this very first level, there's actually a secret placed behind a wall that we literally cannot get to, so the max would be 75%. But since we're going to be completing all levels in this category, we need to take the super secret exit in this level, which leads to a very hidden Easter egg, and we will actually not see a result screen, but due to the category, I'm going to have to kill everything anyways. Now, you'll also see me destroy these barrels as well. There's 10 of them on this level, and they're actually used to trigger the super secret exit. So I need to destroy all 10 of them as I make my way around. So we're just going to be doing a lot of really, really tough fighting as we make sure we don't miss anybody, make sure we get all the barrels. Pinkies are a little annoying to deal with this early in the game since they don't have any good weapons. So you might have seen at the very beginning of the level I grabbed a Berserk Pack in the room behind me. Berserk Packs not only refill your health to max, they also increase your punching power on your fist. Unfortunately, the damage range is very, very random, so you can kill pinkies in one hit, or you can kill them in like 5. It's not the most reliable thing, but it's the best thing we've got. So we're going to tag that barrel there. We're going to switch back to the fist. We're going to grab some safety health. This level's really dangerous. It's honestly one of the most difficult levels in the run. We've got to punch through another 7 pinkies. And I'm just going to try and bounce off them back and forth right here without getting bit too hard. I need as much health as possible for the next level. That pinky did not want to die.
There's so many pinkies. Why
I
are there so
know.
many pinkies?
Look, when the game says watch me die, they really do mean it.
Punching pinkies in the morning.
Alright, so just one last secret, one last barrel over here in the secret. We get the soul sphere, which is nice, helps fill up our health here. So we're going to destroy this last barrel. The secret exit opens up right here, and that's the end of that. So this takes us to the super secret level. So for the super secret level, there is 2 exits. There's a normal one, and there's a special one. We only need to do the normal one, because we only need to get the 100% kills and 100% secrets. So we only need to do 2 of these 3 rooms, since the 3rd room has no enemies or secrets. So this Arachnotron trap is pretty nasty. I'm not getting good damage. Okay, so that's alright. But that's the easier of the 2 rooms. Now we have to do a very, very tricky fight here against a bunch of Hell Knights. And if I fall in the pit below, I die. There's no way I can get out. So I'm just going to tank these fireballs. I'm probably about to die. Nope, I fell in the pit. Well, thankfully, we have quick saving. Like, this is a pretty common reset point, because it's very easy to just get flung off the ledge. Or just die from fireballs. Okay, so we're out finally. So here's our 100% here. So you'll see on the results screen 100% kills, 100% secrets. We need all of that on every level coming up for the next, 27 levels? Anyways, I can talk a little bit about mechanics since they're important.
Yeah.
This game has what we call strafe running, where if you move in 2 directions at the same time, those vectors are added together to give you a faster running speed. So when I'm strafing left and running forward, I'm actually going about 40% faster. And this actually ties into a trick right here. We're going to do what's called a key grab with that extra speed. So what I can do with that extra speed is I can line up right here against this wall. I can run at a strafe, and I can just barely pick up that key by being inside the wall with the extra speed before the game is like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. So this allows me to pick up the key very early and skip a puzzle, which is very, very slow. So the extra speed will come in handy with other stuff later, because there are also stuff like floor triggers and such that we can skip with our speed, which can be good or bad. So there's going to be a lot of that utilized. Even though this is a max category completion, we do have our own little skips and tricks to make things quite fast.
How long have you been speed running this game, and not only that, but this category?
I picked up this category earlier this year, actually. My good friend Windu, great friend of the Doom 64 and the rhythm game community, he actually did the initial routing for this, and I learned a lot from his stuff. So I spent about 3 weeks learning it and rerouting it with a whole bunch of other stuff. And I've been running this game off and on for 7 years, so I have a lot of experience for this. But even then, this was still a very difficult category to learn. And this Kako says hi while we have a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, the Z in Zelllooo stands for zoomies, by the way, if y'all didn't know.
Alright, so this script's going to end right here. Chain gun's pretty useful during the first half of the run, or whenever we need to conserve shells. Bullets don't get a lot of use later in the game, but they're very useful for chaining these weaker enemies like zombie men and imps, because they have such low health, so you can just kind of bounce from one place to another with no cooldown. So we could do another key grab to get the yellow key early, but since we have to get a secret that's activated by getting the yellow key, we're going to run around this room the normal way. We're just going to take a very specific path through all these shotgun guys here. I'm going to save the rest of my bullets for later. The hard part of this room is making sure we don't miss any shotgun guys, because they like to wander around lots. So we're going to pick up a lot of rockets. There's 20 rockets in that secret right there. We need a lot of rockets for later. I didn't kill that guy. There we go. So we need a lot of rockets. Rockets are a great source of damage, and we need to get the most out of them in this category. So we're especially going to be stockpiling them for one level when we get to the hell levels, because that one's going to use literally about 80 to 90 of them. I'm gonna save before each exit just to make sure I do get the 100% on every level. If not, I have to go back. So we're good there. So this is one of my favorite levels, both casually and in a run. The Doom engine is used for this game, like the original Doom engine, but they added some really neat features to it, like some special level scripts, so you can see rooms like change dynamically, like all these platforms raising and lowering. And that's a really neat thing about the level design in this game, because it's constrained by the N64's like hardware limits, because I'm playing on the 2020 re-release. But the level designers did a really good job getting the most out of their hardware, and they have some really neat levels. So this is the first level where we're going to have to start killing enemies in order to progress certain triggers. So I'm going to stand in a very specific place to do what I call a spawn block. And as long as I'm standing over a specific tile when an enemy tries to spawn, the enemy will not spawn, and I don't have to deal with it, which is really nice. So not only that, I need to kill all these lost souls and very specific enemies in order to make that yellow key spawn. We're in the middle of the room right there. So there's going to be a lot of monster-based triggers that we're going to have to deal with in this game, especially in this category. I'm going to make sure I didn't leave any cacodemons behind real quick. Okay, we're good. Yeah, keeping track of the enemies is a very difficult part of this run, since we need to kill everything. But you'll see me kill not only just to get things out of the way, but sometimes I'll kill enemies in a very specific order so I can get certain triggers to happen first.
Another quick question, Zelllooo. So I love how you have so much passion for this run and specifically Doom 64. Did you play this when you were a kid, though?
Yes, I did.
I was wondering.
My cart that I use for N64 speedrunning is actually the very same cart I got in 1997 as a kid.
That's amazing, wow.
I have loved this game to death. And there's been a lot of death in this game, trust me. Yeah, the console speedrun is actually quite different from the re-release, because there's several glitches and such that we can use in that version that's not in this. But this is a very fun run, and this is also a very safe this is a much safer version for this category, since we have to get the 100% on everything. Okay, so there is a flashing warning coming up after I get the Soul Sphere, so you might want to duck out for just a few seconds if you're sensitive. And I'm glad I actually remember that warning this time, so right here. So we'll hopefully get through this hallway as fast as possible to not have to deal with this any longer. Alright, y'all can look again. Sorry about that. I don't know why picking up the Soul Sphere there makes that hallway glow like that. It just does. This game does some very spooky things, but that one's not for the better, unfortunately. Anyways, this level introduces Hell Knights to the enemy mix, and they are a little tanky. They usually take like 3 super shotgun blasts. So we need to make sure our pellets from our super shotgun are very centered, because the pellets from your shotgun and super shotgun like to spread out. So you really need to aim your shots well, make sure you get the most out of each shot. Because with good luck and good aiming, you'll kill a Hell Knight in 3 Super Shotgun Blasts. So this level also does have a secret exit to the first main secret level. So we're going to do this switch puzzle right here. We have to activate these switches in a very specific order to make these platforms rise and lower. And if I hit the switches out of order, then we wouldn't be able to finish the level at all with the secret exit. So thankfully, no problem there. So we're going to clear out these Hell Knights using a few of the rockets that I have. Super Shotgun the rest out. And let the Lost Souls kind of beat each other up. Monsters with physical attacks, especially Lost Souls, they'll usually infight with each other as long as they keep targeting each other. So we try and have them infight wherever possible. Okay, so we're gonna get across this platform here, hopefully not get blocked. Okay, so this is the secret exit. Hopefully we got our 100% right here. Excellent. Okay, so at the beginning of every one of the normal secret levels, we get a little bit of text here, kind of neat. So not only do we need to collect 100% in this level, there's also something called a demon artifact in this level. There are 3 of those, 1 in each secret level. We also require that you collect all of the 3 demon artifacts, because they actually appear in the auto map, and they are lost if you die. So these demon artifacts are really useful anyways, because they will power up a weapon that we get in this level. So we want to, even if we didn't have to pick them up for this category, we probably still would anyways. A little low on rockets. So that's a pain elemental right there that we just blew away. As the name suggests, they are a pain. So hopefully we're not going to see too much more of them in this level. Like, if they start spawning tons of Lost Souls, it's a real problem. That's the wrong weapon. Okay, so this next area we need to go through, we actually need to make 3 separate trips to get all the items. So we're going to do things in a kind of a weird order. I'm going to hit the switch right here to spawn the Unmaker. This is a very special weapon. It's the only new weapon in 64. It's very weak right now, but this is the weapon that's powered up with demon artifacts. I've never hit that ceiling before. Nice. The Unmaker's powered up by the demon artifacts, and we're going to pick up 1 in this level, in this hallway right here, once we get these secrets. So we have to do a little bit of a puzzle. The demon artifacts are actually hidden in the secret levels. They're a secret in a secret, so you actually have to kind of go out of your way in order to get them. And we have the first one, which increases our firing rate, which is really, really nice, because normally the Unmaker fires very slowly, and it's worse than the plasma gun. Since we just picked that up, it is now better than the plasma gun, and you will never see the plasma gun in this run if I do everything perfectly. So, sorry, plasma lovers. So we've got all the secrets and items out of there, so all that's left is just to clean up everything else and head towards the exit. I missed that switch. Switches are a little finicky sometimes on their hitboxes, especially in this version of the game for some reason. So that's okay.
That whole last segment, I was just lost.
Don't worry, Doom Guy is too. That's why he's going everywhere. Maybe he's just got to find a bathroom really badly. That's why he runs at 60 miles an hour everywhere. I mean, I'm not sure how good Hell's plumbing is. Alright, so all that's left, we're going to have 3 pain elementals spawn in just a second, so I'm going to actually use the Unmaker here because it's very safe. We can deal with them before they start spawning more Lost Souls. Pain elementals in this game are especially annoying because when they die, they all explode and leave behind Lost Souls, and they also spawn Lost Souls, and if you try and block either of those with your body, like in PC Doom, they'll actually just explode for rocket damage in your face and probably kill you. So we try and keep our distance on them. So that's the end of that first secret level, so we're back on the main path. Very nice. Alright, this is a really, really complicated level for the early game. There's just a lot of little things going on. A lot of this game, in this category in particular, is... there's a lot of optimization and multitasking. Whenever we try and do things, so the super shotgun is really good, but it also has kind of a slow reload time. So whenever possible, we try and do multiple things at once. Like if we're firing, we move to a different spot where we need to go, or we open a door, or we position ourselves to get around some enemies. There's a lot of multitasking, so we're going to try and utilize that. I think there's still one Spectre over here. There he is. Want to make sure we don't forget anybody. So because of that, this is a really, really fun run for me, but it's also very stressful because there's not a lot of downtime.
Yeah, this run just seems constant. Like there's just no stopping whatsoever.
Yeah, like the next like actual break we'll get, we are on level 5 right now. The next break we'll get is in level 18.
Jeez.
Like we'll get like a 15-second break, and that's really about it. It just goes and goes. That's how I like my games anyways, though. Okay, so chain gun's really good here for just kind of juggling everybody. Don't have to worry. That seemed like there was... I could have sworn there was one more enemy in there. Guess not. I just want to be sure I don't leave anybody behind, because it's a very long trek to get back to this maze. Ah, 4-shot. Yeah, that's what I was saying with the aiming well and the Hell Knights. I had to kill that one in 4. And shells are actually kind of in short supply in this level. So we're trying to make the best of our shots. Because we are picking up as much as we can for ammo, but the Super Shotgun is just such a workhorse that you also kind of run dry at a few points. So it looks okay so far. I should have enough ammo to deal with the rest of the level. Okay, so I need to make sure I kill 6 lost souls in this room, if I remember right. 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, there we go. Let's get this mega armor up here. This is our only secret in the level. Wrong room. Okay, and coming up is the worst key in the game. The key is on like a little tiny little pit right there with the crusher going down, and it's very easy to run right past the key and not actually pick it up. So thankfully we got it first try. Because usually you'll miss it and just get smashed on the head by the crusher. Okay. See if we can get the spawn block. Oh, nice, we got the spawn block. So not only can you do a spawn block... Wait, what? Oh, that's right, the spawn block is when I grab the rocket launcher. Never mind. I didn't actually get the spawn block. Pretend I got the spawn block, so I can be happy. So, like I was trying to say, you're not the only thing that can stop enemies from spawning, but other enemies can also stop enemies from spawning. So, this will actually come into play at a few levels a bit later. I'm actually really low on shotgun ammo. Let's see, I've got enough for rockets here. We'll just chain gun them out. It's a little slow, that's fine. Okay. Yes, Shawnee, it definitely worked. Thank you very much. Alright, so Alpha Quadrant, it's a pretty notorious level in the normal speed categories, which are like our any percents. But this one's actually not too bad in this category for max. Since we're not having to do a lot of dodging, we're going to have to kill everything anyways. Let's see if we can get this shot here. Nope. I like killing all 4 of those shotgun guys at once, but it's a little tricky to get lined up for them. So thankfully health and armor don't really matter here that much. There's a secret with a Mega Sphere that we're going to get. Mega Sphere refills you to 200 HP and 200 armor, and it does upgrade your armor to Mega Armor if it wasn't already, which is really nice. I'll cover that difference in just a bit about why we have 2 different kinds of armor. So we're going to get these rockets here. We're not going to pick that rocket launcher up. Certain items in this game are also tied to making more enemies or such spawn, so there's a few items that we don't pick up so we can avoid that. So we're going to drag a Hell Knight that was over there. There. We can group them all up for really good rocket damage. Not too bad. Alright, so our health's refilled. We just have to get past these lost souls here. And then we have a little bit of a tight encounter with some Barons and Hell Knights up ahead. There's a lost soul behind me. So we're just going to inch forward, get them all grouped up here. Rockets really pulling their weight here. Nice.
Yeah, lots of love in chat for this run so far.
Thank you
by
all.
the way.
Y'all are awesome.
Nah, I think you're pretty awesome.
Oh, die, you too kind. Alright, let's see if we can get this jump across the bridge. Ah, I didn't get it. We'll go for it again. This saves just a little bit of time. Just using a little strafe jump, that little extra speed that we get from strafing, we can use that to just barely cross the gap. That Nightmare Imp corpse went, like, across the stairs. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Physics in this game are weird. They're very amusing physics. Speaking of very amusing physics, I'm actually going to activate a door from behind once I get rid of this Baron right here. So normally we'd have to hit a switch and to make this secret door open up, but I'm above it and behind it, and I'm just going to activate it from here. There. So in case you're wondering how that actually works, the Doom engine is not a true 3D engine. It's more like 2.5D. You have two main axes, and then the Z is just kind of a separate displacement variable. And so this means that everything is basically infinitely tall. There is a Knight Lost Soul right behind me. Wow. So there are infinitely tall enemies, which is why you cannot pass under them if that happens. Anyways, we just skipped a whole bunch of enemies as well by jumping across these gaps very carefully, and then we just spawn blocked a pain elemental from coming up. So this room went really, really well. I like to call that room the American Gladiator room because of those pillars, and thankfully we didn't have to do much actual fighting.
Zelllooo, is it okay if I come in with a quick donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome. So we just received a $75 donation from Kaz, which currently raises the total to $442 with a comment saying, "Put my donation towards Ultra Kill Prime Sanctum 1, please." Thank you so much for the gracious $75 donation. So that puts the Ultra Kill incentive, which is going to be happening today right after Bioshock by Benedictator. Shredster is actually going to be running that. That incentive is already going to be halfway met. So thank you so much. Speaking of incentives as well, we do have a bid war active right now for Benedictator's run of Bioshock, which is for saving versus harvesting the little sister, and Save is in the lead with $9.05. So sorry for talking a lot, Zelllooo.
No, it's all good. So here's our one intentional rocket jump up the run. Rocket jumps in this game are not as good as they are on PC. You do not really get any sideways momentum from rocket damage in this game, so we just use a backwards boost to get over the gap that we normally need to raise a bridge for. So there's your one. That hopefully, I always pray I'm not going to get any more face rockets, but don't trust me. Knowing me, I'll get at least one more face rocket in. Shoutouts to Dime for face rockets. And speaking of donations, thank you all for donating for the extra incentive for this run. You all donated for the Glitch Warp ending, and that will be shown off after this run is complete. So thank you very much.
Yeah, super excited to see that as well.
Alright, so this level has some trigger issues. I was talking earlier about like the line defs and how you can kind of skip over some if you have fast enough speed and such due to the extra speed from strafing. That's actually bad here because if you're supposed to go over a specific trigger and you don't actually do it, then the floor or such will not raise sometimes, like due to the way the level design's made. There's a lot of invisible triggers on the floors of these levels where they would make floors raise or lower and create these like invisible bridges. That kind of ties back into the engine not being full 3D. They have these really, really neat little tricks to make it seem like it's a 3D game, and it's a very, very good illusion. But the consequence of that is that if you skip triggers, you can have some very, very bad things happen, and it's very possible to soft lock from those. So I'm going to be very careful stepping over certain triggers to make sure I don't skip them. So, the sewers here, there's not too much going on. There's going to be one of my favorite rocket shots in the game coming up after I hit this switch. I'm just going to mop out a whole mob of lost souls right here if I get this shot correct. Ah, there we go. That's satisfying. Thankfully, Lost Souls in this game, they do not have a lot of HP. They only have half the HP they normally do in PC Doom. So, but they are very, very aggressive to make up for it. So, I have to be careful with how I aim my rockets. Not too much left of this level. Just have to get a couple more Hell Knights. If you're really, really ballsy and have a lot of health, you can risk Berserk punching him and getting good rolls, but I never get good rolls, so I just try not to.
Also seeing some discussion in chat. Yeah, so for everybody who's joining in right now, welcome to Slurpathon 8. We are opening right now. We just had Maliv, who ran in any percent category of Celeste, and now we're rolling into Zelllooo, who's playing Doom 64. In the Watch Me Die Max category. So submissions for Slurpathon actually closed in September, and what this event is about is the funds that are being directly raised right now are going as undisclosed funds towards the Alberta Children's Miracle Network Hospital, in line with Extra Life. So if you do feel gracious and have the availability to donate, please do so also while checking out the incentives and whatnot.
Yes, please do.
And speaking of donations, one just rolled in right when I said that. So we got a $10 donation coming in from Shawnee saying, making the donation reader say zoomies to get around being mean. Thank you so much. Yeah, zoomies. This is Twitch was being mean to me this morning. I tried typing zoomies in chat and it asked me if I was sure. And gave me a paragraph and I read it in Spooty Biscuits for it. I mean, so thank you so much for the $10 donation. It's $452 raised towards the $6,000 goal right now.
Alright, I'm doing a backwards boost right here. I'm going to do a backwards key bump right here. I'm pausing for that one because we line up against the door and then just kind of run backwards into it. So I like to call that one booty grab. That is confirmed that Doom Guy has good booty. Like, that's just canon. Yeah, unfortunately, there aren't too many key grabs left in the run now due to just like various other tricks and reroutes, but the ones that we can still show off are always pretty entertaining. Make sure I got all 8 of them. Okay, got all 8 of them. Okay, so this level ends soon. There's going to be a big room past that yellow door down the stairs, and we have to kill a whole bunch of stuff, and I have to be very careful not to fall into a pit, otherwise I'm going to die because I can't get out. This game likes to do that a lot, so I'm going to actually make a very dangerous jump to activate the trigger that spawns some barons, and we can get the party started that way. And thankfully it looks like I actually managed to stop one of the Hell Knights from spawning, which is really nice. So one of the 2 did not spawn, so that saves me a little bit of trouble here. We're going to clear out some enemies using the Unmaker here. Unmaker does really, really good single target damage right now. It's just very convenient. Health is not looking so good now, though. We're going to save.
Just letting you know, Zelllooo, also while bringing up Doom Guy's booty, the chat's talking about Doom Guy's physique now, so...
We had this discussion during Power Up with Pride earlier this year. We need to keep this discussion going. Alright, one last Baron to kill right here. No, I just had to not fall off here. Alright. And that's the end of the moon levels. We are now going on to Hell. Okay, so this is where we saved all those rockets that we've been stockpiling. This is even simpler. This is an homage to Dead Simple from Doom 2. It's a big arena level where I just need to kill a whole bunch of stuff. When I say we need to kill a lot of stuff, we need to kill a lot of stuff. It starts with 5 Mancubi, which you might have remembered from that first secret level. They are pretty deadly, doing 60 plus damage a hit.
Jeez.
So we're going to get rid of all of them. And then we got to get rid of 8 Hell Knights while avoiding some Cacodemons running around. We're going to try and pick up a whole bunch of extra rockets and other stuff while we're at it, too. Where are you going? So I'm going to listen very carefully for sound cues, just to make sure these Hell Knights die, because it's very easy for them to just kind of get lost. Or if I just don't get good damage rolls on my rockets. Because normally they can die in 3, but they can die in 2, or they can die in 4. This is the last Hell Knight right here. So I'm going to hopefully spawn block a Baron right here. Looks like it was good. We're going to grab this invincibility, and we're going to go for a ride because I need to kill these pain elementals as fast as possible before they start throwing Lost Souls everywhere. So not only that, there are also a bunch of Mancubi around the side. There's 6 of them on this outer ring right here. I need to kill all 6 of them as well. So it's just a mad dash trying to keep this invincibility for as long as possible while I try and take out all the dangerous enemies. So that's all of the pain elementals gone. I need to kill the Mancubi over here. There's one more down here, I think. Where is he? Did he walk the other way? I don't like this. Nope, there he is. He's somehow got all the way over here. That's never happened before. But thankfully all the Barons are grouped up really nicely, so we can just unload our rockets into them. We just have to be careful of these Lost Souls because they're charging at me. So we're going to switch over to our Super Shotgun and use that for the cleanup. It's like, thankfully I don't need to do too much health preservation, so I can fight pretty aggressive as I do this. Make sure I get all of them. Get these rockets here. Let's make sure that's everything. Alright. That level didn't go super great, but it's fine. As long as you can live through that and get the 100% first try, that's good enough. And that's really all I can ask for in a marathon. So there's
I think it went well. And you know also what went pretty well?
What's that?
Shawnee allowed you to, it's the $10 is runner's choice, so you have $10 to put towards whatever you like.
Oh, thank you very much, Shawnee. Put that towards the Ultra Kill.
Ooh, you heard that.
Look, I'm opening the FPS block. I want that FPS block to be as fun as possible.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is where we will grab our final weapon here. We did grab the plasma gun. You got to saw it for a brief second. Hopefully you won't see it anymore this run, because the Unmaker completely outclasses it, even with only 1 demon artifact. We also will grab the other weapon that we're missing. It is the BFG 9000. It is the most powerful weapon for clearing out large crowds, so definitely worth it, even if it wasn't required. So we're going to try and charge into these Lost Souls as fast as possible. The chain gun's really good for dealing with Lost Souls. This game has what's called a pain chance, where the pain chance is literally the percentage of how often an enemy will kind of flinch whenever you hit it with a weapon. And Lost Souls have a very high pain chance compared to most other enemies, and the chain gun's very rapid, so it's very easy to just kind of lock Lost Souls down with the chain gun. That way they're not constantly charging at you. Okay, so there's going to be a bunch of Spectres, these invincible pinkies. We're going to ignore them for now. We're actually going to use them for some spawn blocks. We're going to activate this secret switch for BFG, and then deal with these Barons right here. I actually have a lot more rockets than normal, because even simpler actually went pretty well, so I can unload from there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to drag the Spectres over the spawn points for some Mancubi, and then we're going to make a mad dash for the BFG. And 2 of the 3 got spawn blocks, so that's pretty good. Like, you can usually get 2 out of the 3, sometimes you'll get all 3, but 2 out of 3 is pretty good. So here's another really weird trigger skip right here. I'm going to line up in this corner with the pistol. I'm going to move in a very specific way, and we're going to avoid a bunch of enemy spawns if I do this right. Okay, so I didn't hear anything, so that sounds good. So now we're going to BFG our way out. The BFG is extremely powerful. I can touch on how that works a little bit later. But we just, not only did we annihilate that whole mob of enemies, we skipped another mob. If I were to exit that area normally, there would have been literally twice the amount of enemies coming out. And we don't like that. So not only does it save me time and effort, it saves me ammo, because cells are very precious. I forgot the secret. Let me grab this berserk. Alright, here. Let's punch some more. Punch some more pinkies out.
Yay.
I didn't know we were playing Punch-Out. Alright, so the Terror Core is a really interesting level from a design perspective, because there's a lot of those bridges that kind of go over and under sectors. This also means I'm going to have to avoid a lot of triggers by not accidentally skip over those triggers. So we're going to be very careful as we go over certain parts. Oh, so we're going to BFG these enemies hopefully okay. Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, I got rid of 2 Barons and damaged the Hell Knight, which is really nice. So how the BFG works, it fires that big main blast, and that hits the target and does a bunch of damage. But what happens when that main blast happens, so when that main blast happens, the game checks your angle the shot was fired at, and it checks your current position. And what it does at that moment is it fires a bunch of invisible tracers from Doomguy's vision in kind of a cone shape ahead of you. There's like 40 tracers or so. At max damage, that can do, I think, 250% the damage of the main blast. So it's extremely powerful. So what does this mean for damage? The best way to kill enemies with the BFG is to fire the shot and then run up and give them a big fiery hug. So you heard it here, folks.
Hugs are amazing.
Hugs are amazing for Doomguy and for me. Maybe not so much for demons. So thankfully this level's gone pretty well so far. We're gonna hopefully not skip any triggers on this bridge over here. We have to do a little bit of fighting with these Hell Knights.
Oh, you got time for a donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Wonderful. We have a $5 donation coming in from Gallad Mullet with a comment saying, is this, in quotations, never happened before a drinking game on? Now, if we're talking about drinking, we're talking about staying hydrated, right? Whatever sippies you got. Look, I'm all about drinking that nice, high-quality H2O. I got some Gatorade on the side, too. But thank you so much for the $5 donation. Really appreciate it.
See, I got the zoomies, y'all got the sippies.
Hey.
Especially if we're gonna have the BFG 9000 arsenal. It really just stands for the big fat glutes 9000. So you got to get your donations in and just help me keep those glutes nice and hydrated. Alright, so we're going to make a really weird jump right here. Get to this ledge so we get to this mega armor. That'll stock us up. I thought he was going to get crushed by the door for a second. Nice.
And also saying again, if you have anything that you want to put your donation towards incentive-wise, ensure to place it in the comment as well, alongside with your donation. That helps us out a lot. And thank you.
Alright, let's see if we can get one more BFG shot right here against these Barons. It depends on where they are in the hallway, because they move kind of randomly. That's a pretty good position. That one got shoved so hard that he didn't die from it, but it only took one more shotgun blast. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't mention randomness, but there's a lot of randomness in Doom in general. Enemy movement is random, enemy damage is random, your damage is random, the accuracy of some of your bullet weapons is random. There's a lot. So a lot of this game in every category is learning how to deal with the randomness and just adapting on the fly. And that's what makes it a really, really fun game. Okay, so Altar of Pain right here has the entrance to the second main secret level, and this is a really, really fun level. There's a lot of really tight fighting. There's a really nice, neat imagery like the inverted crosses on the walls and such. It's just, it's really neat. You got the nice blue skybox. I guess what I really love about this game is the graphics. It is running on the Doom engine, but they redid all the graphics from the ground up, all the textures, all the monster sprites. They just did a fantastic job, because this game was actually not made by id Software. It was supervised by them, but it was actually developed by Midway, and they just did a really fantastic job making just a really solid Doom game. So big shout-outs to Midway for just their really fantastic work. And speaking of shout-outs to Night Dive Studios for making this really fantastic remaster that you can get on modern consoles and Steam for very cheap. It's really nice to have a very high quality port of the game. Oh, I accidentally used the plasma gun. Oopsie. You weren't supposed to see that. My mouse is rebelling against me. No, seriously. Something's trying to constantly... Why? For some reason, it keeps trying to switch to the plasma. Oh, I didn't have shells, that's why. I wasn't watching my shell count. I was just like, why is it trying to switch to plasma over and over?
It's like, hold on. Zeal's like, I gotta reinstall my mouse drivers real quick. Something's going on.
I was concerned my mouse wheel was flipping out, because I've had that happen during Descent. Hey, that ammo management I was talking about. Okay, I had to take the Armor of Shame. That's my punishment for running out of ammo. I also had to take the Armor of Shame. So with that green armor in the corridor right there, we call that the Armor of Shame. If you have over 100 armor, you don't have to pick up a green armor, but if I have under 100 armor, I'm forced to pick it up in order to hit the switch. And that actually ties into what I said earlier with the armor classes. There's two armor classes. There's normal armor, and there's also mega armor. So normal armor reduces damage by 1/3 and then takes the rest out from your armor count. Mega Armor reduces damage by 1/2 and takes the rest out. So by actually grabbing that armor when I was like just barely under 100, I actually kind of downgraded because I'm not getting as much protection now, which is unfortunate.
Do we have time for a donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome, awesome. We got a $25 donation coming in from Anonymous with a comment saying, "Love seeing Zelllooo and the Doom 6."
Doom 6. Thank you very much for your donation.
Doom 6 with three dots after Doom 6.
We're just gonna pretend that's supposed to be a fancy 666. I'd be okay with that. Alright, so this altar room's pretty scary. I'm gonna be dragging 5 Barons around the hallway here, because I want to group them up for BFG shots. This should be okay now. So that's one. Let's see if I can get another lined up here. Ooh, I took a lot of damage. I went from about 68 to, 5 in about half a second. Everything in this game hits really hard. So, really, really trying not to take damage here. Okay, we did get a spawn block on one of the Barons. We only need to kill one of them. I didn't really talk much about the spawn blocks, but if you spawn block an enemy, that enemy doesn't count towards like the maximum number. The game only checks if an enemy has been spawned or not. So if we don't spawn an enemy, then we don't have to deal with it. So that's how that works.
Oh, we have some discussion in chat about this game called Descent. I don't know. I think you might know something about Descent.
I might know a few things. Descent is a nice, really, really fun FPS that I'll be running on Sunday afternoon. So you should definitely tune into the marathon for that, as well as everything else.
There you go.
Alright, almost up to the normal exit, but we do have to take the secret exit, so we're just gonna mop up the rest of the enemies around here, and we're gonna head off to the secret exit. And I think this is actually the coolest secret exit to, like, find. Ah, I fell down. That's not a big deal. The other 2 secret exits are a little more cryptic to get to, but this one I think is really clever. I can show it on the map real quick. We're going to jump onto this pillar with a soul sphere, but if you look on the map right here, it looks like an arrow. So we're just going to jump into this fake wall. See, at least they give you a hint for that one.
Yeah.
And that should finish that one. Yep, 100, all good. So this is the second secret level, the layer coming up. We will be coming back to this level for the incentive after the run, so just keep that in mind.
Sure.
Thankfully, this is.
I just want to say also, your run currently right now is very, very interesting and absolutely awesome as well.
Oh, thank you, bud. It's just, no matter what category you do of this game, it's always just really, really exciting due to all the improv and just. It's Doom. Everybody knows Doom. Everybody loves Doom. Everybody also loves that Spectre too, apparently, because he came and gave me a very bloody hug. Okay, so this room's actually really dangerous right here, so I have to move in a very specific way to avoid getting cornered. Okay, it looks good. Alright, yeah, no damage right there. That's really tight, because it's very easy for the Hell Knights to just trap you in the corner and you just get fireballed to death. So we're going to activate a pseudo-secret by going through that passage there. We're also going to grab the second demon artifact coming up. I need to activate a couple of switches on these walls in order to make that happen. So that'll lower the pillar there. So we're going to hopefully get a good BFG shot right here against these Hell Knights in the corner. They were like nowhere near the target there. So I'm just going to fire another one. Yeah, that was kind of bizarre. They were not in a position I was normally expecting. And that ties into the improv I was talking about earlier. Armor is a little low, and there's a bunch of lost souls down here. So we're going to be very careful. This is not being careful. Okay. So interestingly enough, remember how I talked about how kills only count if you spawn them? That actually applies to secrets in the game as well. And there's actually one secret in this level that we will not spawn. Secrets can be tied to either trigger lines on the floors, or they can also be tied to objects. And by not spawning a very specific Berserk pack, we don't actually have to grab that secret because it is not counted towards the max. So we'll still get 100%. So I just have to finish the level now. I need to make sure I kill everything here. That's 9, 10, 11. Where's the last one? Oh, that is the last one. Okay. So we're filled up on health and armor. That'll take us to the end of the level, thankfully. Alright, so coming up, the next 3 levels are... This is probably the most difficult stretch of the game. The next 3 levels are among the most difficult levels in the entire run. They're very long, they're very dangerous, and it's very, very likely I'll take at least 1 death, so just keep your fingers crossed. Like, this is
best of luck.
Tough. Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck.
Like, this is already a pretty notorious level in speed categories, but in max, we're going to have to play the dart room kind of legit, and that's going to make... it's going to be very scary. Thankfully, there's a lot of really neat strats in this level, including my favorite one in the game right here. I'm going to aggro this Arachnotron using the shotgun. It's going to try and fire at me. So we're going to have the Baron block the shots. Now, if I shoot a monster, it cannot get aggroed by anything else, but if an enemy aggroes it first, then it will try and turn on the monster. So the Arachnotron is trying to fire at me, but the Baron's trying to chase after the Arachnotron, so it just keeps shooting plasma bolts over and over and helps kill the Baron super fast. And I really love that strat. I was not supposed to pick up that Soul Sphere yet. That's actually kind of a problem. That's actually supposed to be for the end of the level. So I might take a backup at the end of the level. There is one Mega Sphere we normally don't grab because it's a bit out of the way. So this is okay. We can just grab that if we need to. So coming up is also a pretty infamous room. This is the dart room. We're going to just rush through a whole bunch of darts and pray that we don't get smacked to death. Darts in this game actually do a lot of damage, so hopefully I'm not going to get too beat up here. Yeah, okay, I only took like 50 damage. That's pretty average. Even with 200 stats, it's very easy to die in this room. Thankfully, the darts also do really good damage against the Barons, so we're going to just kind of have them tank a bunch of these. And we're actually going to activate the dart trap again so that we can get a little bit more dart damage. Unfortunately, my shotgun ammo is not looking good. I am actually literally out. Ugh, this is not good. Boo, Slurpee, boo, I see that pun. It's a good one, but boo. Alright, well, hopefully I'm not going to die here. I have 30 health. I have 30 health to get through all this crap. Okay, hit that switch. Okay, I should be okay getting out. We're going to grab these rockets here. We're going to get rid of the cacodemons in this room. They like to float around. I have seen other runners... I have seen Windows runs end because these guys decided to leave and get stuck in a different area. So we're going to just get rid of them, make sure they're out of the way. Alright, so we're roughly halfway through right now. We have to go through this really complicated library section next, and it's very scary. There's some really, really tight dodges I need to do. And there's also a lot of... I was talking about randomness earlier in the run, how monster movement is random. If you move in very specific ways, though, they'll generally try and move in your direction. So we can kind of manipulate movement when enemies kind of start moving. So we're just going to get around this Hell Knight here. He's going to try and follow us in a bit, so we'll just ignore him for now. Because I grabbed that extra Unmaker artifact, now it fires 2 lasers at once, so it's super fast and super efficient. So we'll use that in a few spots. I am surprised that blast did not kill me. that fireball can easily do like 80 damage, and it did like 10. So that was very lucky. So now we have the best scare in the entire game coming up right here. This bookcase just lowers the moment you grab the bullets, and there's a Baron of Hell on the other side. It's like, surprise! Alright, so we're gonna try and move past an upcoming Hell Knight in a very certain way so we can scoot past him. There we go, got past him, so we'll have him chase. Save right now. So he'll chase us, and then we're gonna try and group these Hell Knights up for rocket splash damage. No, they're not doing that. Oh, please die. And we'll try and group these Barons up as well. That was a very close fireball. Okay, one more Hell Knight. Okay, so here's one last scary part in this room. We need to get rid of some some cacodemons so they don't fly off. But there's also some barons in this room now, so they do a lot of damage. So we're gonna kind of scoot around here. So we're actually gonna be back to deal with them in a bit. My health is really low, so I will be taking the backup, it looks like. But we're actually gonna go to the exit room first. We're gonna spawn everything in here first. Get rid of the imps, make the barons aggroed, and then we're going to leave, and we're going to deal with them a little bit later. So the reason we take this weird route is those barons on the lower floor have been trying to follow me this entire time. So they're going to be grouped up in the corner, and we can try and deal with them with the BFG. So hopefully they're in a good spot. There's thankfully also an invincibility right here on this pillar. So that's reasonable. Not great grouping. That's actually pretty bad grouping, but we'll make it work. We'll just rocket our way out. So we're also going to check around the corner, make sure there's no other imps around here. Imps like to just kind of go everywhere in this room, so I check around that corner just to make sure that they are not hiding from me and making me miss 100%. That Baron should not be there. He's been there before, but he should not be there, and that scares me a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this secret right here. Normally wouldn't do this, but I'm a little low on health. I really want max health if I can, so we're going to take the backup here and just grab these. So where is that Baron at? Okay, so hopefully the Barons in the other room are going to be in the corner, but it's a little iffy because I went all the way out of my way. Oh, that's reasonable. We can take two of them. Ah! So the fireball knocked me out of my angle that I wanted to do, and the tracers went everywhere, so didn't get very good damage. Happens. Okay, hopefully that's everything in this level. Okay, good, 100. Little slow, but it's okay. So the second of 3 very difficult levels. This has a very interesting thing with this beginning moat section. So there's 2 halves to this moat. There are 2 triggers, one on each side of the castle, and each trigger will make 8 pinkies spawn on the other side. I did that wrong, shoot. Now he's going to be angry at me. That's okay. So anyways, like I was saying, there are triggers with, they'll spawn 8 pinkies on either side, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and skip one of those triggers so we don't have to deal with all those pinkies, because that'll make a big mess of things. So we're gonna let the Erectron do a little bit of work for us here. I'm still really low on shells, so I'm a little concerned here. Okay, well they both died together. We're probably gonna grab the backup shells now. That way don't run out. So we're gonna get rid of the pinkies over here. So I cannot step where that Baron of Hell is, otherwise the other pinkies will spawn on the other side. So we're going to just kind of rocket our way out right here. I'm actually gonna laser that one out. Okay, I see the other Baron coming. That's a good sign. We're gonna make him kind of walk over here. We can do the easier strat. So we're gonna have to kill that Baron in order to progress anyways, but we want him in a very specific spot, so he's easier to kill while getting the next trick. So we're going to get this. I think there's a... I didn't hear the thing open. I'm gonna make sure that gate closes so I can reopen it. Okay. Oh, there is a pinky there. Crap. Okay. I was able to keep that gate open. We cannot open that from up there, so I want to make sure I can keep it open. I also have, no health. I had 200 stats, going into this level. That's really bad. Okay. So here's a neat little trick right here. We're gonna kill this Baron, and then this triggers the blue key right here. We're actually going to save and reload immediately. What this does, there's a bunch of Lost Souls that just spawned above me. Saving and reloading de-aggroes them, so we don't need to deal with them right now, which is really good because that also prevents more Lost Souls from popping in at the very end of the level. So that saves a bunch of time and effort, because otherwise we'd have to chase them down, and that's... You don't want to chase Lost Souls down, trust me. It's not fun. Oh, I'm getting beaten up pretty hard, though. Health is in a really dicey situation here, so I'm going to have to take the Lost Soul ambush just a little safe. I'm going to grab these extra... Or I can just die. Okay, well, there's the death. There's the death. That's okay.
I was just about to say, it's like every single step after, from the previous segments just seemed exceedingly difficult.
It really is tough in this category.
Golly.
This is a very stressful, very fun, but very stressful run, because you're just constantly doing stuff in this category. Like, it just never really stops. Okay, my health is a little better now, so... And I have a little bit of armor. Not much, but enough to get by. Oh, come on. That Mancubus is so fat. Why are you dodging so well? They're like some of the widest targets in the entire game, and it just did not want to get hit by that rocket. Okay, 2 health. Only 1 more than I needed. It's okay. There are some medkits on the side.
In chat says, good luck on the rest of the run.
Windu, thank you very much, Windu. Windu, my good buddy. He also did a lot of the routing of this game, like almost all the initial routing, so he was very important to getting started with this run. So very big shout-outs to him. And I wish he could be here for like actual commentary, but life is life. Alright, so this area is really scary coming up, because I have almost no health, and it's a bunch of shotgunners. Hit scan enemies like shotgunners, they just kind of deal the damage instantly, there's no dodging. So you either get hit or you don't, so we're just going to try and pick them off before we get blasted by everything. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of lost souls on this side, so we're going to BFG them out. Big boom. And then chain gun the rest out safely since I have no health. And hopefully one didn't go around the corner. Hopefully we'll have a 100 right here. Yes, excellent.
Very nice.
Alright, so this is Dark Entries. This is the last of the 3 scary levels in the big game. There's a big arena in the second half of the level. It's very scary and very difficult to deal with. That didn't die. Die, please. Thank you. We're going to do a key grab right here. I'm just going to kind of bounce against that and somehow can pick up the key that way. That lost soul is tearing me up. Oof. Is there a good backup health? I can grab the health over here. Yes, if you're going to learn any category of this game, especially this category, know your backups. Know where all the backup items are. You need every little bit for a run this difficult. So we're getting into the arena part right here. We're going to clear out the lost souls in the middle first. And then we're just going to kind of try and get enemies to fight each other for a bit while I do a little bit of cleanup. So we're going to get the rocket launcher out. We're going to snipe the arachnotrons in the cages. Thankfully, that one decided to go over there. We're going to also pick up a bunch of rockets as we go, because we are going to use a bunch in this section too. Okay, it looks like they're being fairly nice compared to normal. Arachnotrons in this game are extra deadly because they have a twin plasma gun instead of a single like they would in PC Doom. So they fire fast, they fire... they're just very stressful to deal with. Oh, that one's not dead! Like I said, very stressful. So we're going to grab these rockets. We're going to grab the health that's on the sides here. Thankfully, most of the enemies up on that pillar area are just kind of fighting each other because they were infighting. So we can just kind of let them tear at each other for a bit. Yeah, they're both aggro by that Arachnotron. It's really nice. So that actually went fairly well. It's not uncommon for me to die like 3+ times in that arena. It's very stressful. Looks like there's some enemies that escaped. Should be like a couple more. Yeah, there's one. Those imps like to run to the other side for some reason, so we just kind of deal with them now. I'm going to save my rockets here. Okay, another good choke point coming up ahead. It's very easy to die here too. I have to get past these Barons and these Arachnotrons. So I'm going to fire a few rockets to soften these guys up. I'm going to grab the health and cells. And we're going to BFG and hopefully make our way out okay. There we go. So we managed to get to the other side without getting trapped. Because it's very easy to get stuck against the Barons, or you either get past them, but then you get a face full of plasma from the enemies and you just die. So this area now has a whole bunch of enemies spawned, whole bunch of Arachnotrons, whole bunch of Lost Souls. There are Revenant missiles coming out of the walls there. Interestingly enough, there are no Revenants in Doom 64. That's one of the enemy types introduced in Doom 2. But they kept some of the assets, like the Revenant missiles, to use in this game. And the Revenant missiles on the walls are one of them from the turrets. So, very interesting use of those. Okay, so we've managed to get the Barons off our tail for a bit, so we can just kind of let the splash damage from the rockets do most of the work now.
Hey Zelloo, is it okay if I just pop in real quick with a couple words?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Awesome, cool. I just want to, reiterate the fact that we do have active incentives going on. If you use the ! Incentives command, it will show the public-facing spreadsheet where you can see the active incentives right now. We currently have one bid war going on for Benedictator's Bioshock run. For saving or harvesting the little sister, where saving is right now in the lead with $9.05. And then not only that, after that, we have Shredster with Ultra Kill with an incentive of, I guess, Prime Sanctum 1. The goal for that to be met is $150. It's currently sitting at 85. So incentives are rolling right now. Please, if you'd like to donate and put your donation towards an incentive, add it in the comment. That definitely helps us out. So appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely donate for those incentives. You want to see more Marathon. You want to make sure that Slurpee doesn't get sleep, right? That's what we're here for. So thankfully Bloodkeep is an easier level. The only hard part is going to be getting the next key coming up. Everything else is a little more simple, thankfully, compared to the last 3 levels that we went through. Just have to do a little bit of fighting. Since there's a lot of Barons in this level, I do have to add, this is a fairly accurate port of the original game. Like, it's almost completely accurate to scale. But there's one interesting thing about Barons of Hell. The damage formula for their melee scratches is actually wrong in this version. They actually do a lot less damage due to an oversight in the formula, and just never got changed. So if you're fighting Barons in this version of the game, it's actually really good to just kind of just get close in case you get scratched, and you really won't take much damage at all. So, just a nice little weird quirk I thought I'd point out. Okay, so most of the hard stuff's now over. We got past that corridor without getting slaughtered by Lost Souls. It's very easy to get trapped if you don't get out from the key. So now we have to go up to a little bit of platforming. There's no jump button in Doom. So all platforming in this game is unfortunately just kind of moving from place to place as quickly as possible and letting your momentum carry you. And that means once you leave a platform, you're kind of committed to where you go. So we try and run over these platforms in very, very straight lines, not like that, but like this, so that we can make sure we don't overshoot our target and fall. I guess they saved all the Doom guy jumping for Doom 3. So we got to deal with all those Cacodemons that are right outside that I skipped. So we're going to grab these rockets. We're going to hopefully get some good BFG shots right here. Hopefully we can get them all in 2. One good one there. That was most of them. That's still pretty good. Let's deal with them first. Make sure we get all these imps in this chamber. That looks like everybody. That Caco's just somehow over here. Okay, sure. Doesn't happen often, but does happen. Alright, hopefully we're going to group all these enemies up for another BFG shot. Get out of my way, Pinky. Okay, you can die too. That works. That is also appreciated. So we're gonna grab this secret right here with the plasma gun. I almost went too fast and almost missed it. I would have fallen off the bookcase. So we kind of feel like this game's a little unfinished in a couple of ways. This area right here behind the bookcase feels like it should be a secret, but it's actually not tagged as a secret, even though there's like a bunch of secret goodies. So, I don't know. Like, maybe they just ran out of time trying to debug everything and just had to release. But it's still a very good and polished game as is. Just little weird quirks like those. There's behind me. Okay, so we're going to fill up on health right here, get this soul sphere, tag the Baron on the way out. Tag, you're it. Okay, so after I clear all these enemies out, there's one more trigger skip that I'm going to do to skip more enemies. This one's a little bit specific because I'm going to use my regular shotgun as kind of a lining point. There's just a lot of like little cues you have to pay attention to when you're setting up these skips. So I'm going to use the shotgun and line up with a rock on the ground. That looks good. So hopefully this will go fine. Yep, perfect.
Speedrun strats.
That's actually why I use different weapons, because different weapons are good for different keys depending on the level. Oh, we missed that trick shot, unfortunately. That's okay. Also, do not fall into this pit right here. You will die. I know a lot of casual players get to this room, get lowered into acid, and are very sad because they have to restart. Alright, so this is watch your step. Like the name implies, we're going to try and watch our step. There's a lot of invisible triggers in this room coming up, so we're going to avoid a bunch of these squares on the ground by walking in very specific ways. So this is going to prevent a bunch of enemies from spawning. Like there would normally be a ton of enemies spawning right now, so we're just going to kind of nudge our way around and just deal with what is spawned. So there's a pain elemental there. There's another pain elemental. Sometimes he spawns, sometimes he doesn't. Just got a little unlucky. Let's see. They're actually fighting. I don't think I've seen that before, so that's a new one. I think it looks like that Cacodemon actually got spawn blocked by the Hell Knight, so that's actually a new one for the record books. That's never happened before. Alright, so here's another trigger skip to avoid more enemies. Good. So we're going to grab the 2 secret rooms in here. We don't technically have to hit the switches in these rooms because the rooms themselves are secrets, but hitting these switches inside will open up a couple extra rooms, which give us some very nice goodies. So we're going to go ahead and take those. So we're going to grab that Megasphere that's on that ledge. These 2 doors are open, so we're going to take this passage and grab this Megasphere, and we're going to do a very, very big arena. So this arena right here is very particular. I actually want to spawn block a bunch of enemies that come in the last wave, so we're only going to kill very certain enemies here, so we can have the enemies block as many as possible. So 2 pinkies on either side right there. That makes the imps spawn. We have to kill these sets of imps over here. So that's the Hell Knights. Looks like they spawn blocked the correct Hell Knight, I think. It's kind of hard to tell with that angle. So we're going to kill this Hell Knight right here. Hopefully this is right. Nope. Something didn't die properly. That's actually kind of bad. So we're not going to get a whole bunch more spawn blocks like I wanted. Might not get any. Okay, so enemies are spawned now. So we got a few spawn blocks, so we're going to take the invincibility here. Now, I need to kill everything else before I kill all the Arachnotrons and Mancubi, because when I kill the Arachnotrons and the Mancubi, everything else disappears to prepare for the last wave. However, everything that I did not kill disappears, and I do not get credit as a kill, which means it will actually be impossible to get 100% if I do not kill these first.
Really?
Yeah, so I need to make sure there's something alive. Okay, so here's the Cyber Demons right here. We're going to ram them with the BFG and Invincibility. I'm going to give you a big hug. I'm going to let him shoot the foes. There we go. Perfect fight right there. So all we got to do is just pray that we actually did kill everything. Please let this be 100% here. It is 100%, thank goodness. Okay,
hey,
we're good.
Congrats. That's amazing. Wow.
That is a very difficult level to do very fast, especially since I'm very limited by the invincibility timer. And if it runs out like it did in the middle of that Cyber Demon fight, you're just going to get a rocket to the face and die, because rockets can do up to 288 damage. So
Let's get hype.
So thankfully, I did not have to take a rocket to the face. And we were able to get out of there quick. That's not the right weapon. Oh, but he died
That
anyways.
was wild, man. That's wild. Jeez.
It's a really, really cool part of the world, but it's also one of the scariest, and I'm glad I got it first try, because we can focus on this level now, which is a lot less scary. This is just a really, really long level, but nothing too bad happens. I'm going to get a couple secrets. There is one thing to note. There were some cages at the very beginning of the level, and one of those cages had the exit door with 3 imps around it. We're actually going to save those imps for later. We actually want them for a spawn block later, so I'm going to save those for last when we get to the end of the level. Why are these Cacodemons here? Okay. Anyways, on our way right here.
They flems. The Cacodemons flems. They want to say hello.
They want to say hi. Hi. If you have any announcements you'd like to make, now's a great time, because we're going to have a little bit of downtime right here coming up.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we don't have any further donations at this moment, but if you were looking to donate, just use the !donate command. Check out those incentives as well. But I do want to put out again that, so
Extra Life, right? If you didn't catch the beginning opening of the stream and you're wondering what Extra Life is, so Extra Life is a Children's Miracle Network hospital fundraising program. It empowers the gaming community to make a difference in the lives of local kids. This specifically is in benefit for the Alberta's Children's Hospital Foundation. Not only that, but participants fundraise year-round, including 24-hour gaming marathons. So what some people do most of the time on Extra Life Game Day is they'll run like a 24-hour, stream or whatnot to raise funds for their local Children's Miracle Network hospital or another one anywhere else, because you can choose which Children's Miracle Network hospital you want to support. But of course, Slurpathon, 4-day event where all of the proceeds are directly going as unrestricted funds to the Alberta's Children's Hospital Foundation. So every single donation, every single cent matters. So, and not only that, but everybody who's spending time watching the opening and the further speed runs and showcases throughout this event is definitely benefiting in any way possible. So thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Dot, for doing such a great job hosting, especially with how intense this run is.
To be dead honest, I'm actually sweating. Like I'm sweating. I'm drinking a lot of water right now, but I'm sweating watching just because this is so like it's hard to explain how quickly paced this is. I mean, I love Doom. But I never played it in a speed running fashion, but I love Doom so much. But every single time I watch you practice this, and then now being able to see you showcase this run here and how polished you're playing and how much passion you're putting behind everything right now too, it's just awesome. It's just really, really, really great to watch.
Thank you. All right, so we're coming up into the back area right here. We're gonna grab this hidden Megasphere. There's a lot of stuff that I need to deal with. There's a lot of cell management in this part right here because I want to try and fill up as many cells as possible. I am almost dead. Let's grab that Megasphere before we die. Watch your health, everyone. Okay, so we're actually a little down on cells compared to normal, but this is okay. Like, we're still in decent shape. Oh, I forgot to open the door. Yeah, the really nice thing about this category is you do see a lot of the other weapons that you don't see chain gun too much in like a watch me die speed category, just because or really the be gentle speed category as well, just because you got other stuff to work with. But since you need to really stretch your powerful ammo far, you get to see a little bit of everything aside from the poor plasma gun. I also did not need to take that. I was already at 200 health. Silly me. Oh well, that's okay. That shot went to the moon and did not explode. That can happen. So like I said earlier, this game has infinite height, so it kind of does auto targeting for your height stuff. It auto targeted an enemy and then missed it, so the shot just went into the stratosphere of hell and disappeared and did not do anything.
The moon just got BFG.
The moon's gonna have some big fat glutes. I love this game. It's so jank in some ways, but it's so good.
It just disappeared. It just went bloop.
I'm out of here. No,
Could you imagine making that noise like?
The shot was like, no, I've seen what you do to these demons. I'm out of here. Oh. Alright, well there's our entertainment factor for this level. So it's mostly just dealing with a few more enemy encounters and getting one last spawn block like I talked about with the imps earlier. That's never happened before in that area though. I've never had that happen there. Usually if something usually if something goes wrong in that area, I face tank a pain elemental and just die. But I don't have an incident like that. Alright, so these imps are in the cage right here. We're going to drag them over here. We're going to open this door. We're going to hopefully be able to spawn block a Baron that's would spawn in the corner here. So hopefully we got it. It looks like we did, so good. So that's one less Baron to deal with, thankfully. This level also has the final secret exit we'll be taking in the run, so we're going to do a little bit of cleanup here and deal with all of them. So there's a few pain elementals behind this door. Okay, they all died, so we're going to activate the secret exit door. There we go, hear that in the distance. We're going to save because I've skipped the secret trigger for the secret exit before. And hopefully that should be everything there. Alright, perfect, 100. Alright, so this is In the Void. This is the last secret level. This has the third and final demon artifact. This is a really interesting level because you wouldn't see it. This has actually never been showcased in a marathon other than this category. Because there was no benefit. Like, some of the other secret levels used to be in other marathons, it'd be like, oh, we get this item to help things early on, or it's actually faster with this method to go this way. This level never got to be showcased until we started doing WND Max, so this is a really cool one to show off. I'm going to try to do some infighting between the Barons and Baron and Hell Knight here. In PC Doom, they cannot infight, but in 64, they actually have an exception hard-coded for them to where they can infight between them. So we'll just let them kind of tear each other up like an old married couple for a bit. Hopefully not like my marriage. My marriage is good. These Lost Souls are kind of beating up on me. I forgot about that Pain Elemental, so this is actually kind of bad. Let's do this. I'm going to use this for cover. This is actually really sketchy because I don't have health. So this is looking not too good. There is some health on the way back. Okay, we should be alright. We still got our Mega Armor, so this is a little less scary than it actually looks. Because we'll at least be taking only half damage. So let's deal with a few enemies over here. Okay, so hopefully the Barons behind this red door right here are going to be grouped up. We can rocket them. That's good enough. Oh! 1% health! That hurt. Face rockets. Face rockets hurt. This is the only health I need to survive. It's okay. Okay, never mind. The Lost Soul came from behind and killed me. Which means there's probably going to be one coming around over here somewhere, and I'm going to have to deal with them later, so I'm not looking forward to that. So you can see how easily everything kind of goes downhill in this this level. This actually makes me a little worried, because you can see it's a very open level. So hunting for Lost Souls later might be a problem. But hopefully that's not going to happen. But we might end up in a bad position at the end of this level. Because there's a very specific trick to avoid some enemies that we might not be able to do now. Well, we'll deal with it when time comes. I don't see him, so I think we're okay. We'll just do our best here. So we're going to hopefully get more enemies to aggro right here. We're going to grab the key. Mancubi do not want to spawn. There we go. Okay, so they're aggroed a bit. Use the BFG on them. So aggroing them keeps me pretty safe. Just tear all of them out. So I don't see any other Lost Souls, so I think we're okay. I'm going to try and group them up for another BFG shot here. That was okay. They're still grouped up for rockets. It's good. Alright, so I don't see another Lost Soul, so we're going to get rid of the last Pain Elemental that's over here using the Unmaker. Thankfully, there is a Soul Sphere right over here behind this pillar. Just kind of aggro these Lost Souls here. Skip around. Good. And usually this Baron likes to stay in the corner over here. So did he put himself in timeout? Yes, he did. Alright, so that's all of them. So that switch I activated activates some stairs. We're going to see where we're at on this elevator cycle coming up. Hopefully we're on a good one. Good one. Yeah, so that runs on a global timer when you start the level. So we just want to make sure that we get everything we need. It's a bad spot. Okay. So all the enemies hopefully are dead. So all that's left is to get the demon artifact. So there's a little bit of a trick here. We're going to start the sequence for the demon artifact. We're going to make this quake happen right here. And what that does is that actually makes a switch pop up over here. So we're going to run all the way back to where the blue key was in that room with both the Mancubi and the Barons that I aggroed. And there's going to be steps leading to the demon artifact now. Now, normally what would happen is that when you grab the artifact, then a whole bunch of Pain Elementals spawn all over the map, spewing Lost Souls everywhere. Very, very difficult to deal with, and the last time I did this in a marathon, I had to deal with them due to bad things happening. But if you can get out of here fast enough, we can avoid the trigger and not have them spawn. So hopefully we still got our 100%, a lost soul didn't wander, and we'll be okay. 100%, good. Alright, that's that. So, we're rewarded with one of the most dangerous levels in the entire game, if not the most dangerous. This is Spiral. This is one big spiral room up the staircase, and it is just it's going to be a slaughter from start to finish.
Let's go.
So there's going to be a bunch of pain elementals that spawn in the middle. My Unmaker is upgraded to a triple laser now with homing beams. One of those pain elementals actually didn't spawn. Wow. Cool. But there's going to be just a whole bunch of stuff that's spawned now. So we're going to just get rid of these pain elementals as fast as we can, so that they don't keep spawning more stuff. And we're just going to use rockets to clear out the rest. I am all out of cells, so we're going to start rocketing our way out. Let's grab this armor, because I just ran out. So the hard part is also not accidentally face tanking the lost souls with rockets.
Okay, this game is starting to look like a Toho now.
This is the Toho level. I think I'm going to have to start calling this Hell Toho. There's got to be a better name for that, though. We'll figure it out. Like, we're going to be spending the rest of eternity in Hell. Like, Hell, Doom is eternal. I mean, it even says so in the last game.
Got him.
Anyways, this is just a whole bunch of rocket fighting right here. Just getting up these spiral steps, making sure nobody gets left behind. Some of the times the Lost Souls like to just kind of stick to the pillar and not actually try and attack me, which is actually bad because I need them to do stuff so that they don't just kind of wander off. We're going to spend some extra time grabbing extra rockets because I realize I'm a little low. Where am I at on rockets? 83 is not great. I really would like to be as close to 100 as possible, so... there's a rocket
really
pack.
Good pun in there. Chat is popping off. Go Toho, go to hell. I can't even.
Y'all too good.
Yeah.
Alright, so that at least finishes that. So we at least get a break level right here with Breakdown. Unfortunately in this category we don't get to do my cool trick with grabbing this first key, but I guess that's okay. I just have to make sure I kill everything in this room because it's impossible to backtrack path back to this room, so we need to make sure we get everything in the first pass. So just being very careful to make sure we get everything. There's 2 cacodemons and just a handful of soldiers. And since I'm low on rockets, I'm not going to do the crazy rocket strats when I get upstairs. We can still do some pretty cool strats here. So we're going to try and multitask here, get on these stairs before they rise. That's the Mega Armor. That opens up this secret over here. So just grab all these rockets. All 3 imps are dead. I'm a little low on health. I'm going to try and get as close to 100 as possible. There are thankfully a few medkits we can pick up. Okay. So no crazy rocket strats here. We're just going to super shotgun our way out. Oh, I thought that Spectre was going to get hit, but I killed him by accident, and the fireball just passed right to me. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of pinkies. You thought there were a lot of pinkies before. This room, there's going to be a lot of pinkies. So there's 3 hallways. We're just going to kind of slide our way forward slowly. Pinkies have a very, very slow melee. That's the only thing that they can do. So if we just kind of inch forward when they try and start their bite animation, they won't actually hit us because it takes several frames for them to actually do their wind-up. So we can just kind of inch forward little by little so I don't run out of room. If you play this game with the fast parameter, which is kind of a silly category as well for PC Classic Doom speedruns, pinkies attack really fast. They hit like pretty much the frame they start the animation, and they are very difficult to deal with. So a little more infighting right here. Let them have at it for a bit. So we're going to go through this labyrinth right here. We're going to grab some cells from this plasma gun. Interestingly enough, there was supposed to be some really big mega secret planned for this area when they were designing the map, and there's still some remnants, like some traces of that secret that never came to be. There's like some tags on some of the walls if you look at a map editor, but unfortunately the secret doesn't actually exist, so just some fun trivia. So the Hell Knight was destroyed and the Baron's now destroyed, so no problems there. So we're going to aggro a few enemies here. I think my rocket situation is mostly fixed itself just by using the super shotgun here and there, so... Where's the other Baron? Where's the Baron? I don't like that. He somehow got all the way over here. No, bad Baron. Bad. Bad Baron.
What was it doing all the way over there?
I don't know. They like field trips. You know, they're always standing in like one spot their entire time in Helm. They gotta explore. They're just patiently waiting for Doom Guy. And Doom Guy doesn't get hungry, doesn't need air or anything, so I guess they'll just be waiting forever. Alright, so 6 lost souls to finish this area. And then there's one last secret to get over here with this soul sphere. And thankfully I did not forget it. I forgot it in a practice run the other night, so thankfully I didn't forget it this time. Okay, and that takes us to the exit.
Nice.
So... Is this one of the maps where you can find the textures? I'm trying to remember if this is one of them. I'm pretty sure it is. There's a very special texture that we did not get to see in this run, unfortunately. It happens if you kind of break some of the triggers properly. Break them properly. Yes, I said that right. Unfortunately, we haven't seen it in this run. Maybe I can have a happy accident and show some off later. Let's see. So get rid of all of them. So Pitfalls is a pretty scary level, has some really neat strats, but also a lot of really tight fighting. The first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to have a Arachnotron aggro like a couple of Cacos for us. Hopefully he'll fire at us. Come on, fire. He's too far back! He cannot hit him because he's too far back. I hate you. You suck. See, that Arachnotron doesn't cooperate very often, and the one time he kind of cooperates, he doesn't. Just Doom AI in a nutshell. Alright, anyways, we're going to start changing the rooms right here. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup while we're waiting for this room to change. So it's very easy for these Cacos to get lost, so we're just going to try and deal with them as early as possible so that they don't wander around everywhere. Like, theoretically, we could use them to block some spawns, but that's way too random with how the layout of the level is. Okay. So there's a lot of hallway stuff coming up right here. This is where the chain gun really shines. This is a lot about just soldiers. Since there's pretty much no cooldown on the chain gun, we can conserve ammo as needed by just kind of letting go of the trigger in between shots. I'm going to grab this backpack right here. I didn't talk about backpacks. Backpacks double your initial ammo capacity, and they also give a little bit of extra ammo, so very, very useful. Grab these right here. Rockets are very useful. Why are you already dead? That shotgun guy's already dead for some reason. I'm not complaining. There must have been a very angry Baron that, like, just decided, nah, you're dead. A few more hallways of enemies right here. There is kind of a weird infighting strat I'm going to try and go for. There is another Baron and Hell Knight grouped together soon, so I'm going to try and have them infight, and hopefully if they infight in the right spot, I'll actually spawn block another Baron, so we're going to hopefully have another little happy fight right here. So I'm going to save... Wait, where's the Hell Knight? There he is. He was actually like right behind him, so we're going to have him go over here. Please. Please infight. Okay, so that should be good right there, so we're going to trigger these Barons. Yes! Worked out perfectly. We're just going to kind of stand right here and let the BFG do its work. So that did a good chunk of damage. We'll do another one right here. That shot was not so good. But they are grouped up so we can rocket them out, so still very safe.
Why are they hurting each other?
I don't know. Look, if you had to stand next to the same demon over and over, I'm pretty sure you'd be sick of them too. For all of eternity. So, since we got this invincibility right here, I'm gonna make the most of the Unmaker to just kind of plow through everything. So we're just gonna kind of chew through them. That way we can just kind of push as aggressively as possible. Thankfully, there's a nice little soul sphere, and I have to kill some stuff anyway, so we're gonna grab this soul sphere on the way over. Just nice and convenient. I'm gonna get rid of this guy too while I'm at it. Ow, that hurt. A demon divorce, yes. So who's the extended family? Like, are the Lost Souls the extended family, or are they just like what's left when the demons die? They just get reanimated as Lost Souls. I mean, if I died from Doom Guy's hands, I'd probably be pissed off and charge an Emperor too. Alright, so we're gonna go to a kind of pseudo-secret. It's not actually tagged as a secret, but there are 10 more rockets I can grab. And rockets, as you've seen, are a very good source of damage, so we're going to go ahead and grab those. I'm a little low on cells, actually. I'm actually quite low on cells. I should have more than that. Hopefully this will resolve itself. Oh, I do have a lot of rockets, so we should still be okay. So we're going to do this little ledge jump here. I was hoping to get that first try. This is a tough ledge jump to actually make. You're not really supposed to make this. Come on. Okay, there we go. That's very difficult to do on PC. Since you don't have the neutral reset glitch that you would in console to get extra speed for that. I have a bunch of rockets, so we're just going to unload here. Okay, hopefully that's everything in this level. Doom Guy's not gluten-free. That is true, Shawnee.
Got him. Oh,
Got him.
God.
Alright, yeah, my cells are in a very bad spot. But I'm gonna try to make this work. Alright, well, I'm hungry. So we're gonna have a chainsaw. We're just gonna cut up some spider right here. Unfortunately, it's not going well, which is why I saved. So Arachnotrons have a really awkward hitbox. They actually have like a weird rectangle. So if you're on the wrong side of the rectangle, you're just like barely outside of your hitbox for your chainsaw, and that can happen. It is funny. You have to go for it because it's funny. This does legitimately save time if you do it right, because that slope is really awkward to try and actually fire weapons on. So usually the chainsaw is okay. Keyword being usually. Okay, so this next room coming up, I'm going to activate a switch that makes things a lot safer. There would normally be a dart trap that I'd get stuck in, but I don't want to get stuck in that dart trap because it's really hard to dodge anything, because I'm going to have Arachnotrons firing at me too. So we're just going to just kind of nudge that, grab the rocket launcher, activate the trap, and these barriers are on the side so that I don't get torn up by darts, because the darts hurt. You might have remembered back in Dark Citadel, the darts hurt a lot. So we just don't want to deal with them. It's better to just take the extra 3 seconds at this point in the run. Now, this Mega Armor would be really nice in this secret, but unfortunately I'm about to pick up a Mega Sphere, so there's no point in getting it, unfortunately. Oh well. Anyways, we're going to see if we spawn block some enemies when I grab this next key. It's actually, you'd think spawn blocking all 3 Arachnotrons would be the best case scenario. That's actually the worst case scenario that can happen due to how this triggers for an upcoming secret happen. So there's a trigger later on in this level that somehow reactivates that trigger if none of the Arachnotrons have spawned. We don't know why, we just know that it happens. Now thankfully I did see Arachnotron spawn, so we're not going to have to deal with that little problem. So we're just going to unload some rockets into these pinkies and Arachnotrons. I'm going to grab a few extra rockets over here. Also going to make sure that everything is nice and dead. There are specters and they're hard to see in this corridor. We're also going to grab a nice plasma cell pack right here. Oh, hello.
Excellent. Do you mind if I just hop in with a couple more words again?
Yes, go for it.
Cool. Yet again, just want to put out there that we have active incentives going on. We are approaching near the end of your run, right?
Yeah, just a few levels away.
Yeah, getting there.
So yeah, I just want to throw out there. Up next, we'll be having Omax showcasing an any percent HRH mod of Bioshock Infinite. But I don't want to get that confused with the Bioshock incentive or bid war that's currently active. That will be following for Benedictator's run of Bioshock for no major skips, which saving the little sister is still in the lead with $9.05. When donating, if you'd like, make sure to put in your message where you would like your donation to go towards incentive-wise, and that'll definitely help us out. So thank you so much for the consideration.
Thank you all. Okay, so the exit to this room is tied to a switch timer, so I'm going to try and get rid of these Hell Knights first, and we're going to try and get the other Hell Knights on the way out here. So hopefully they're in good spots. That's one. Yeah, Unmaker with the triple demon artifacts just mows stuff down really fast. So we're going to activate the Gargoyle Secret. That's going to make that Soul Sphere spawn, and we're just going to go over here. It's going to kind of cut through everything with the Unmaker, which is very, very, very satisfying. Just get some nice revenge here. I'm unfortunately really low on cells, so I'm going to back off on using the rest of those. I almost just face rocketed myself too. There's those little bloody posts are a little annoying to deal with. Okay. So we're down to the last 3 levels. This is like the last really, really main level. We're actually gonna chainsaw out a bunch of these enemies here. Like, these arachnotrons are pretty annoying, and it's actually slightly faster to do chainsaw here. So thankfully this level's not too different from a normal speed run. Max doesn't have to do a whole lot more work compared to a normal run. But there are some pretty neat parts to this level in terms of strats. We're going to kill 6 Spectres coming up right over here. That'll allow us access to the elevator. Where are all the Spectres? They're normally grouped up all with me, but they're like nowhere. They all ended up on the left side. Weird. Okay. Game is being a game. Alright, so now we have a whole bunch of Barons over there, and I'm running low on cells, so we're going to just rocket our way through. A few of our rockets here. Okay. So now we can get this secret over here. This is a big, nice, big cell refill. That's like 300 cells right there. Really, really useful. It's so useful that we even take it in the normal speed categories, just because that's so many cells to work with. So there's a script coming up in the next room. It's going to be 3 waves of pinkies that spawn, and then a Baron's wave spawns. And when the Baron wave spawns is when I can finally grab I can finally push a switch to grab a key. Now, we're just going to have to wait until that actually happens, but in the meantime, I can just kind of play tag with this pinky right here. And we're actually going to let the pinkies spawn block a bunch of Barons for us, which is really convenient. So there should only be like 2 of them right now.
It's a party.
It is a big party. They are having a party here. Little Rolling Rockets will grab these. Okay, so everything's gone. Yeah, we just spawn blocked like 3 Barons, so very, very good to get that. Sometimes you only spawn block 2, which is still really good. So we'll get a few more rockets here after we deal with these guys. And I can talk about the next skip coming up. So there's another trigger skip for grabbing the yellow key early. Normally if you try and get the yellow key early, it disappears and then an enemy spawns and goes somewhere else. And then you try and grab that, and same thing happens again. If you grab the yellow key normally this way, when it finally gets to the final position, the castle locks, and it won't reopen until you kill 5 brand new cacodemons that show up. So we're going to avoid that by doing a very specific trigger skip and grab the disappearing key before it can become a problem. Make sure all of these guys are dead. I think they're all gone. I don't see that other... Oh, there it is. Okay. So they're all dead. So we're going to line up in this corner right here. Look at a very specific part of this texture. And we got through it first try. Good. So you have 3 chances to set that up if you're not using saves. But if you fail it the 3rd time for sure, then you're wasting a whole bunch of time. And thankfully in this version of the game, you can quick save, so it's very good to just do it first try. So here's a little bit of a switch puzzle right here. There were some locked barriers earlier with some colored combinations on them. We're just entering those combinations into this switch puzzle right here to open those. And this will allow us access to switches that'll actually open the exit. So just a little bit of backtracking right here. So we're going to see if we get what I call the Call of Duty shot coming up. The 360 no-scope sometimes auto-targets. Oh, it auto-targeted the Hell Knight that's way up there. Instead of targeting the Erectron that's directly in front of me. I love when that happens. This game's auto-targeting is really, really silly. It wouldn't be Doom without janky auto-targeting. Hopefully I'm not going to bonk my head right here, going to this ledge. Okay, good. So just a few more Cacodemons to kill, and we'll be out of here. And we'll head back to the room where we got the yellow key to finish up.
This is just such a super impressive run. Good. Like, there's so much to it.
Yeah, you'd think it's just kill, 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 but there's all these little subtleties in each of the maps, and it took a lot of learning for this category. Like I said, I've been running this game off and on for 7 years, and learning this category still took me about a good month almost. It's a lot. Because there's lots of little oddities that you don't really expect until you actually start running, and it's like, oh, that's a thing. What's also a thing is this Baron being a ninja and dodging all my rockets. Alright, so now we can finally leave. Okay, so No Escape right here is widely considered the hardest level in a casual playthrough, and it's definitely one of the most difficult in a run. We're going to have to do a lot of killing. There's actually no exit switch. The level ends when you kill all 3 Cyber Demons. So we're going to kill everything else before then. Thankfully, with the 3-key Unmaker, the Cyber Demons are not too scary. But that shot just took me down to 10 health in a single rocket. So as you can tell, they're still very dangerous. So we're going to just grab some backup medkits and just play this a little safe. And remember, I have 2 more of those I need to deal with. So just keep that in mind. So the gimmick of this level is that when you do very specific things, more enemies like to spawn. So we're going to avoid stepping over certain areas and only kill very specific enemies so we don't have to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to be very careful here. When I kill this Mancubi, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff spawning behind me. So we want to just get out of position there. Otherwise, it's very easy to get trapped by all of these isms. I'm just going to launch a whole bunch of rockets over. Switch over to the chain gun now, because there are a bunch of lost souls over there too. And I'd rather not rocket myself in the face this close to the end of the game. That's what the last level's for. Oh, my energy's really bad, actually. We're going to play this a little slower than normal. Okay. I had just enough energy to deal with all of them. Thankfully, there are some extra energy pickups as we go towards the last Cyber Demon fight, so I'll have enough. So that's not going to be a problem. So we're going to open up the BFG secret here. There is one little nasty trick that we have to do. These doors open when I grab the armor, and there's a bunch of lost souls behind. That's bad. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I saved. that can happen where your splash damage hits the barrel and then everything just kind of goes wrong. Just like that. Okay. We should be alright this time. Okay, so thankfully there's 100 energy right here. Make sure the lost souls are all gone. Good. Alright, all that's left are the 2 Cyber Demons. So we're just going to go over here. Save. Hopefully they'll only come one at a time. If we get both at the same time, it's very difficult to deal with them. And the pain chance is actually pretty high because I'm using a 3-key Unmaker and firing so fast. So I actually have to make sure I don't fire so fast that they shoot a rocket in my face. So there we go. That's that level.
The route.
Uh-oh. I missed the secret.
Was wild.
I missed the secret.
Uh-oh.
What did I miss? I missed a secret. Did I get this one? No, I did not grab this. I forgot to grab this. Oh, there it is. I forgot to grab the actual backpack from that. Okay, now we're good.
Nice.
That's why I did not save yet. Just to be sure I could get that. So now we'll have 100. Okay. You just wanted to see the Cyber Demons die one more time. It's okay. Okay, so that brings us to the last level of the run right here, the Absolution. So this is normally a very, very, very big arena, but since we have the 3 demon artifacts, we can actually close these gates where enemies would normally come from. And what happens when you close these gates is really funny. The enemies kind of start out in just kind of a giant warehouse out of bounds, and when you close a gate, 1/3 of the warehouse kind of closes, and an invisible crusher comes and kills everything in that warehouse. It's just very silly. So, unfortunately, due to weird factors, it can be very easy to soft lock in this level. And it can also happen to where I can actually not finish with 100%, even though everything is sort of dead. Unfortunately, the Mother Demon did not die because I did not have enough energy, so we're just going to shotgun her out because I want to use a shotgun. She also has cool screams. Okay, so I'll call time if we get the 100%. Hopefully we actually do. Please let that be 100% right there. And that's time.
GG.
Oh.
GG. Wow. I mean, like, nearly 2 hours of constant movement. Constant fighting.
Oh, yeah, it's a great run, but it's also very tiring, and I'm glad we got through that in a reasonable time. Like, that's underestimate at least.
Goodness gracious. Do you have anything to close out with?
Well, I do have the incentive that I do have to do.
Absolutely, I was about to say.
I do want to say again, big shout outs to Windu for helping do the routing for this category. Big shout outs to just the Doom community in general, all the Doom 64 runners over the years. They've been a real big help. We'll go ahead and get the incentive started right here after this cutscene. So, the story of it is Doom Guy just decides to remain in hell forever so no demon can ever rise again. He is the ultimate badass. Remember that Doom Guy doesn't need to eat anyway, so it's okay. He can stay there forever. So, we'll go ahead and get set up for the incentive, which is the Glitch Warp exhibition. Let me just go ahead and just skip over to that. I'm just going to turn some quick cheats on, just because they don't affect doing it. It just makes it easier. So we'll just give ourselves a little bit of invincibility and all the stuff that we need. Okay, so we're back in the lair. This was one of the secret levels if you were not here for that part of the run. There was a very interesting thing found by Headshot, our tasser for this game, a few years back. So we're gonna show that off. So we're gonna get on this pillar. We're gonna do some very interesting movement to get around these walls. So Headshot found out when he was looking at the map data for this level, there's actually an exit trigger that's out of bounds. That does some very interesting things because it's sort of related to some of the scripts that run in this level to spawn the actual exit. So we're actually going to go a little bit of hunting here. We're going to get out of bounds. So we're going to do very, very specific setups to get out here. Hopefully that's good. Oh, I did not push that on the same frame. There we go. Second try is fine. So you can see we're behind the castle. We're out of bounds here.
What?
It looks really, really pretty out here. These bricks are also really pretty. I think I'm just going to stand right here. That looks good. You know, those mountains are so good. What if I could make them change? So I did.
What in the world?
So we activated the out of bounds exit trigger. Like, we could just barely reach it from that spot. So due to the way this trigger works, there's no level tagged to like send you next. So in the console version of the game, this actually takes you straight to the ending cutscene, which is really funny. In this version of the game, in the 2020 re-release, it does something even funnier. Due to compatibility, it sends you back to the main menu. We broke hell so hard, it was just like, no, get out.
That's amazing.
And we actually do have a category for this. We do have a warped category, which is a very, very fun way to play the game, first half of the game, and then lose your marbles trying to get that skip because it's very difficult to set up. But that's the Glitch Warp exhibition. Thank you all for having me for this. Thank you, Dot, for hosting. Thank you all for your donations. I will be back on Sunday for Descent, but in the meantime, y'all should get ready for a couple Bioshock games. So thanks for having me. I'll see y'all later.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much for your run. I really appreciate it. So I'm actually going to be hopping off of hosting duty this morning. So thank you all so much for joining us for the opening of Slurpathon. We'll be rolling into Bioshock Infinite by Omax. Please ensure to check out those incentives still. We have quite a few things open, and get those donations in. So thank you all so much. It was a pleasure chilling with you all this morning. So, and Zelllooo, much love. Excellent job on the run.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all in a bit.
See y'all in a bit.